It has now been 5 months since Sons of the Forest was released. It was released on February 23rd, 2023, and in 3 days and 9 hours from the time of this recording, patch number 8 will be dropped. If you're new to the game and you're just curious to see what has changed over the last 5 months, or if you got bored and you stopped playing, then this video is for you. I've chosen a few features from each patch that has changed the way the game is played. I did not include log duplication glitches. Let's go. When Sons of the Forest first released, there was no hotkeys. And what you had to do was hold down the inventory button. I switched mine to tab, so I would have to hold down tab to pull out my backpack to grab the thing that I wanted to get, and I would have to go into my inventory to combine my backpack with the thing that I wanted to be in my backpack. This could have worked out if it didn't stop you dead in your tracks when you tried to walk or move when you pulled out your backpack. If they were trying to not have hotkeys in this game, that would have been a good solution. But fortunately for you, for me, for everybody, N-Night released a hotfix well before the first update dropped that introduced hotkeys. And that was actually one of the biggest game changers there was in this game. They added a hang glider for fast travel. Now, I believe this was a pretty novel thing to add, but it's pretty fun. They definitely get you there pretty fast. So if you plan your base build around the locations of the hang glider, then you can easily travel this island, but I find it to be cumbersome. I would rather just walk. There are 13 hang gliders and 10 night 5s. Here they are. We will cover the night 5 as it come out in a later patch. Before patch 1, if you built a defensive wall around your entire base, there was no way to get in unless you climbed over a rope or glitched your way in with a stick, which they also patched. I'm glad they chose to do that in patch 1. Personally, I can't be bothered with gates. Just build somewhere where they can't get you. Unless you like the challenge, that's up to you. This is bullshit. Added mid-game boss fight to the food bunker, and they are pretty damn hard, so that definitely changed the way that the game is played. However, there is no incentive to go kill them. You do need the keycard from the pantry, but you don't have to fight Mr. and Mrs. Puffington to get that key card. Furthermore, if you don't want to fight them, you could just run right past them, and it's no big deal. Though it is a game changer, it's not a huge game changer because it's not a requirement. The ability to lock doors was a really nice add because cannibals would just come and they'd just walk right into your house. The one-sided apex fills the space between a leaning beam and its supporting beam. This is how you can fill in your gable end. In my opinion, a better solution would be to allow us to take a half, 3/4, or a quarter, and instead of placing it and having it automatically go in the center every time, right click to have it flush to this end in the center or flush to this side. We could have done this on our own just fine. We didn't need it to automatically cut the log for us. I don't know why they did that. I could speculate, but I would rather not. In patch 1, they added the ability to pick up and move book-built items like bookshelves and shelves and chairs and tables. It does not work for the log holder, unfortunately, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. I think this is a welcome feature, and I wish a lot more games would adopt something like this. Because of course, if I built a bookshelf, I might want to move it one day. This one was a huge game changer. They added a sleep cooldown. So prior to patch number 1, and I've showcased this in a few videos, you could sleep indefinitely over and over and over. So you could sleep the day away, sleep the night away. The sleep cooldown and the next one go together hand in hand. Prior to patch 1, I noticed that the longer you waited to go into a cave, the more cannibals you would run into. Day 50. Let's go see. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12th, 13th, 14th. Oh my god. That is a bit insane, and I expect that to be balanced out over time. We are still in early access. Prior to patch 1, the shotgun was a one-tap for almost anything. It was so strong. They half the shotgun damage, but it's still pretty OP. That's what you get. This one kind of snuck by me and a lot of other people as well. Increased health on creepies depending on the amount of multiplayer players active. That is something that really snuck by and I didn't cover. I didn't see anybody else cover. It's too bad we didn't have a before and after comparison. I don't know exactly what those values are, but that kind of sucks. You should no longer be able to get through locked doors with a stick. Sorry, speedrunners. It's not a huge game changer for me, maybe even for you, but for speedrunners, that's a pretty big kick in the teeth. I realize that N-Night probably wants a nice polished game, but I would love it if they left some of these little nuances in there. Fixed Kelvin cutting down trees with flare structures attached. Hey, 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 hey! Oh my god, dude, that's... You can't buy that kind of entertainment, Jesus. Patch number 2 added new demon boss to the end of the Hell Caves. Since it's such a spoiler, I'll show you what he looks like. Here he is. He has some tricks up his sleeve, but he is tough. Remember, you can always burn demons with the cross, and the demon boss also burns with the cross, but it takes forever to kill him. The next game changer on the list, very much sought after, and it is the Turtle Shell Rain Collector. I still haven't really built one because there's water everywhere. It's nice to have nearby, but I just haven't really found water to be a problem, ever. In patch 2, they added the new tougher puffy version, and they glow blue like this, and they are assholes. They are little assholes for sure. Watch out for these guys. They really, really, really hurt you. And they're tough as nails to kill. They're no match for the shotgun, really. Three shots with the shotgun. Brutal. Good thing I have God mode on. That would have probably killed me. There's the attack that I was looking for. Yeah, that does a lot of damage as well. New surveillance room added to Bunker Residential. In case you haven't seen this, I don't want to add too many spoilers to it, but it does pertain to the end game. You now need to go into this cave to unlock another cave, and then you can proceed with the storyline. If I was basing my choices on only how much it changed the game, this would be a 9 out of 10 because it did actually change the order in which you have to do things. Which brings me to the next one, new cave system added. This goes all the way to the other side of the mountain. The next update is moved gold armor to the new cave system. I'll show you that on a big map right now. These last 4 updates that they made in patch 2 sort of go together with each other. The next one is removed keypad entrance to bunker luxury. We'll now need to open it in an alternate way. Before, you had to have a key card to open this, and this is the final cave. And actually in the next patch they added this little camera right here, and there's a reason for that. This one was very welcome. I wouldn't really rate it a 10 out of 10, but they made it to where MREs actually fill you up and cat food does not. Currently it's called canned food, but in patch 1 and 2, and I'm not sure when they changed it, it was called cat food. Cat food used to fill you up all the way no matter what, and it was ridiculous. And in patch 1, they actually nerfed the MRE to only give you a little bit of food. And now they have balanced it back, and they no longer call it cat food. So there's that. Prior to patch 1 and patch 2, it was very, very likely that cannibals would spawn inside your base, and they would just start wrecking shit and going to town, and they patched that in patch number 2, and it was very, very welcome. In patch number 3, they added the Night 5 unicycle. It's not much of a game changer, and even though they fixed it up a little bit and they made it a little harder to fall, it's still pretty bad. The Night 5 is okay on the golf course, and it's okay on the roads, and it's okay on the beach, but anywhere else in the game, and it's kind of just a nightmare. I would still rather just walk. Prior to patch 3, you could not build a staircase on an exterior wall. Ramps and stairs can now be built between a beam and a wall. Prior to this update, this was not possible unless you did some serious manipulating. For building, it was a game changer. This is a good feature, but still needs a lot of work in my opinion. Added an option to delete saves. This was a huge thing for me because I had so many at one point, and I'm kind of back up to where I started. I had to go into the game file folders to find and delete like 10 different saves that I'd been doing testing on, and so on and so forth. Adjusted creepy spawning logic in caves should no longer visibly spawn and should not lead to over-the-top amounts of enemies in caves over time. In patch 1, fixed opening a cave in late game having too many enemies. These two are basically the same in my opinion. Maybe they just didn't fix it in patch 1. Either way, definitely changes the way the game is played. Made it possible to leave the Hell Cave. The Hell Cave is the endgame cave. Before, once you went so far, you couldn't get back out. This is John 2.0, and in patch number 3, they increased the amount of damage that he does to structures. I really wasn't happy about this because he comes around quite often in the later game, and he does a lot of damage to your base now. Yeah, it's a problem. Couple of shots with the shotgun does the trick every single time. In my opinion, patch 3 has been the weakest patch. I refer to it in my own video as a novelty patch. They also added the spring trap in patch 3, which I did not make this list, but I am going to mention it. But most of patch 3 was novel in my opinion, especially the unicycle. Added a new point of interest discovery laptops. Prior to patch 4, when you spawned into the game, these green blips would show up on your GPS, and these were points of interest that you needed to go to in order to progress the storyline. I was kind of taken back the first time I ever played as to why they would have these marked. Now you are required to hit the caves and you'll find laptops that reveal these locations for you. Or you could skip it altogether if you know where they are already, like me and many others that have played. These same locations could also be found on the laptop during the opening cutscene when you first start a game. These locations were marked, and in patch 4 they were removed. In my opinion, if I had to pick the biggest game changer in all of the patches, all the way from patch 1 to patch 7, this is it. This is the biggest one. They no longer hold your hand, and they no longer tell you exactly where you need to go. I wish they did this in patch 1. I'm not sure if it's something they planned from the beginning or if it's something that they gathered after receiving community feedback. But my very first impression of all of the locations being marked on your GPS tracker, which you didn't have in the first one, was it was too easy. In patch number 4, they added the ability to name saved games. This was important for me. I have so many. The ability to name these and delete them, I needed that. I loved that. I thought that was a great addition. Not so much a game changer, but definitely a nice quality of life. The next one, I don't have an example for you, but added kick and ban pop-up messages when kicked or banned from a game, which tells me that you guys have been taking my console command video and going into people's games and dropping 1,000 logs and crashing their game and getting kicked for it, or just trolling. And don't be a dick. Oh damn. Found him. In patch number 4, they added a very welcome feature where Kelvin can now carry 2 logs, as before he could only carry 1. Kelvin is the true MVP of this game. Without him, a vanilla playthrough and building anything on your own would be awful. In patch number 4, they added something that bothered me immensely. They added a north arrow, and I don't want to get too far into it, but it's not north. I could go into depth with this. If you would like me to, I will. This is east. Sunrise is in the east. That's west over there. Meaning north should be this way, but it's skewed a little bit, and I'll show you a picture of basically what they did. This whole top part of the entire map is considered north. It's not entirely accurate, however, it is nice to have at least some sort of orientation. I'm going to look for an example for this, but in patch number 4, they updated the GPS map to include all current lakes and ponds. Before, there was about 100 of them missing. They weren't shown on the GPS tracker. That was reflected in the Map Genie map, as well as the Sons of the Forest interactive map, and also the Overwolf interactive map as well. Patch number 5, buildable basic and advanced log sled. The advanced log sled is extremely expensive, but it's pretty nice. It holds sticks, it holds bones, it holds logs, and it holds rocks, which came out in patch number 6, which we will cover soon. And then the basic log sled, which is substantially cheaper, very similar to the one in the first game. Very, very welcome. And while we're here, where I've basically deforested this entire area for my build, trees now have a 10% chance to randomly regrow when you sleep. This stump has a 10% chance to regrow. This stump also has a 10% chance to regrow, and so on and so on. Each stump has a 10% chance to regrow when you sleep. In patch number 5, they added a cooking pot with a new advanced cooking systems with recipes that give you certain buffs. It's great. I'm glad they did that. I love to see it. I speculated that in patch 5, we would eventually have to start boiling water, which did happen. The next one was kind of crazy to me, to the point where I actually made a video of it. Added 79 new ponds and 34 new lakes. That's so much water. Between the 79 new ponds and 34 new lakes added to the map and the findable cooking pot and the advanced cooking system, I put 2 and 2 together on that. That's what led me to believe that we would end up having to boil our water over time. It's a bit of a spoiler, and I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to say it. Timmy will now block the exit to the Hell Cave after you have defeated the demon boss. In this last one, I wish I had a clip of it. I did back in the day, and I can't find it. I've looked for it. But patch number 5, this is not a game changer. I just thought it was hilarious. You can no longer drink lava. That makes me laugh. It's hilarious. Patch number 6 had a lot of game-changing features added. I'm going to start with stones. Buildable stones. So you could build a wall, you could build a pillar. This was a great add, in my opinion. It's really grindy, and myself and some friends have the same complaint though. When you place this, there's this delay every time, and even if you have time sped up, the animation for this takes a month of Sundays to get through. I believe this could use a little tweaking, but all in all, building with stones, new building material is highly welcomed, and I prefer this method over the method of the first forest. This did in fact change the way the game is played. The amount of rest gained by the player is now modified by their current comfort rating. Certain soups and clothing can affect your comfort rating. Best example I can come up with is wearing the pink pajamas. You see in the middle, the guy kind of kicking back and resting, that is your comfort. Versus the tuxedo, which is surprisingly a lot more comfortable than you would think. The spacesuit is clearly and obviously the least comfortable, but if you put on your pajamas before you sleep, you are well rested when you wake up. If I'm being honest, patch 5 is about the time that I stopped playing this game normally, and during patch 6 I did come back and play quite a bit. The biggest thing that I noticed about patch number 6 is the lowered chance of meds in crates. I definitely felt this one in a big way, and also in patch 6 they added hard survival difficulty mode. That's what got me to jump back into the game. Another thing that was very noticeable in my normal playthrough, which is the game that I'm in now, where I'm on day 44, and this was my very first playthrough, large demons can now sometimes appear above ground after the end game. So this is the game that I completed, and I have had the large demons show up 2 or 3 times, and it's a problem. On a side note, and I'm going to cover it in its entirety, the large demon boss originally had 2000 HP, and it was reduced to, I believe, 1600 HP at one point. I realize I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but in patch 7, his HP was reduced again. He now has 1100. Hard survival, reduced food spawns and crates, no item storage crate respawn on load-in this game mode, lowered fish and animal spawns, decreased target health and stamina regen speeds while cold, and increased penalty for raw/rotten meats. Basically what that means is that any crates that you open will remain open. This was something that they added in patch, I believe, 1, and they quickly redacted it because people hated it. They complained. Personally, I loved it. I wish they would have left it. Last but not least, patch number 7, new end boss battle and cutscene, which I'm not going to show you, but I will show you the boss. This is the boss mutant with 1500 HP. He has giant toenails and fingernails and weird feet. They also added a rifle. Here it is. The new boss mutant is Pain. It's a long fight. He throws rocks at you and ouch. He also spawns babies. And he also spawns other mutants, like the twins. He also chases you, so I'll show you that. And throws rocks really far, apparently. Here he comes. So, yeah, there is a new boss battle and cutscene that goes with it. The next feature that was anticipated by many, including myself, is the drivable golf cart. I did cover this in the last patch video I did. The golf cart's cool. It does a lot of damage to cannibals, and it does a lot of damage to deer. It's a great hunting tool, and it's pretty fast. It's also, will climb a mountain. And here I'll show you the deer. Boom. Boom. 1500. Also, there's no fall damage in the golf cart, so that's fun. And it did do damage. Oh, it killed this boss. Okay, I know I'm trying to make a video here, but that's we gotta do this. Brand new boss, 1500 HP. We're gonna grab the golf cart, full speed, and see how much damage this thing actually does. I knew it did a lot of damage. I didn't realize that it was gonna kill the boss mutant that quickly. 1500, 1450. It does 150 damage. Oh geez, and I barely even tapped him. Here. 1410, 1390, 1370, 1350. Okay. Golf cart needs a bit of work. 1300, 1330 down to 1268. So theoretically, you could just drive around him and catch his leg here. Did a little damage. Just drive circles around the end boss. Golf cart is OP. Added dedicated servers. You can now create a dedicated server, and your friends can join and build and play the game without you. and vice versa. If you're working on a large project, you don't have to be together to do it. People can collaborate. Dedicated servers is great for the community as a whole. In patch number 6, I went in and played quite a few hours of hard survival difficulty, and I had mentioned that I did not notice much of a difference. But in patch 7, drinking dirty water will now cause a small amount of health damage. Boil water or collect in rain collector for clean water. In my original playthrough, I found myself thirsty and I drank from this lake and it did nothing to me, and there is a dead body in this lake. That was my first clue and my first indication that eventually we would have to boil water to drink it. I mentioned this already with the demon boss. Patch 7, they reduced the health again. Like I said, we did the research and it is now 1100, so it was 2000, 1600, now is 1100. And some attacks have a longer cooldown and increased its damage against structures. I believe they did this because they added a new boss fight to the game. They doubled the strength of stone structures. Before, they weren't actually that strong. They weren't as strong as you would think they would be, but they did double it. The cannibals and the demons and the mutants, they have a hard time breaking the stone structure. It is worth your while to at least build your foundation with stone. Alrighty guys, that's it. What did I miss? Do you think there's anything mentionable that I missed? There was a few that almost made the list. However, they really didn't change the way the game is played. My personal opinion of this game, it is really damn good. It is really good, but it's missing some replayability. The building is really grindy and it's very, very difficult. Even with the dev console on, it takes forever. I would like to see them add a compass, and I would also like for them to make it to where the GPS flies out of the helicopter and you have to find it as one of the first things that you do. Similar to the first one where you have to go into the cave and get the map and the compass, I believe that you should have to find your GPS tracker. What is your biggest hope for patch number 8? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all those things, and hopefully I can jump back in and get some more content on Sons of the Forest out for you. I have been taking a bit of a break, making other videos on other games. Cheers, have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.